guys, welcome once again to the Coffee and Hero Show, coming to you directly from the store. Thought it only apt to record this week's episode in here, as we will be back to a full capacity this week. Don't be surprised if you hear some background noise. Smithfield, while not exactly ridiculously busy, there's still a few people about, so you might hear the odd comment in the background, and no doubt a knocking or two because I'm sitting recording in the store and people can't help themselves. But yeah, I'm recording this on the Tuesday just before the new comic book day for this week. New releases kicking off tomorrow. I'll be showing you certainly my pull list this week, the titles I'm looking forward to most, some of the graphic novels that have come in. You can see behind me the graphic novel section's been massively expanded. You can see new merch up here as well. Loads of new statues in the store. So I'm really looking forward to opening it up this Friday. So from this Friday onwards, people will be able to come into the store. So 30th of April. We're still waiting on full confirmation whether people can sit around. I know that with a lot of cafes and bars and restaurants and so forth, it's outdoor seating only. Whether that'll apply to us, I don't know. I don't know if it's a certain capacity of if it seats 50 people or over, that kind of thing. Obviously, we can space things out, and Smithfield's quiet in general. There's no crowds here. But again, I'm waiting on official confirmation on that from the council. So just keep an eye on the social media channels, and I'll keep you guys informed as always. But besides that, yeah, from this Friday, you can come in the store, you can look around, you can see the sort of stuff we've been doing, you can check out the back catalogue. We've added loads of single issues, we've added new merch, we've added loads of comic packs, we've added loads of variants, we've added tons of graphic novels, tons of omnibuses. We've increased every single section that we can, and we're really looking forward to you guys actually being able to get into it and being able to have a look and pick a few things up. So yeah, looking forward to that. Can't wait. Probably be a maximum of 5 people in store at any one time. We do have the hand sanitizing stations set up. There's gloves there if people want to use those when they're looking around. I've had my first COVID vaccine jab. So it's all about making you guys feel as safe as possible for coming down. I think that it'll be a gradual reintegration into society. I don't think it'll be quite the massive amount of people converging on town that it was last time. I think people are a little more wary now, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So we'll look forward to welcoming you back in bits and pieces. But obviously pull lists are there. If you want to literally come in and just have a quick click and collect type thing, we can have stuff ready for you. Just get in touch in advance. But obviously, again, if you want to spend a little bit of time in here from this Friday onwards, you'll be able to do that. So I'll just guide you through a couple of bits and pieces that I enjoyed, certainly from last week's releases. We have a new podcast going up today as well, new reviews podcast, myself, Keith and Paddy. So I go into some of these titles in a bit more detail. And we've also a new interview podcast going up with one of the writers of one of these titles. So that writer is Ram V, who will be a new creator podcast, as I say, going live sometime this week. Thoroughly lovely guy, really intelligent, brilliant writer. We're big fans in general. But this was my title of last week, which is The Many Deaths of Lila Starr. This is by Ram V and artist Felipe Andrade. And this was just an absolute delight, an absolute pleasure to read. It's essentially all about what happens if humans discover immortality, what happens to death. Well, in this, she gets fired, and as part of her severance package, she's sent down to Earth to live out a mortal life. Really humorous, really fun, but lots of layers to it as well, lots of depth. Brilliant title. It's just going to be a 5-issue miniseries, just 1 issue deep so far. This was issue 1. Can't recommend that enough. Brilliant title. I also really am digging Orphan and the Five Beasts. This is the James Stokoe title. This is written and drawn by him. It's all about this orphan who was taken in by a karate master who basically trains him up. But then he tells him of his mistakes where he trained these other 5 guys up and they became evil. So he needs Orphan to take them all out. This one was to do with Thunder Thighs. And this was just, it's so outlandish, over the top, very anime style, but very adult as well. Also loving Alien number 2. So Philip Kennedy Johnson, Salvador LaRocca continuing their Alien title through Marvel Comics. Second issue, superb, again, very adult title. My worry was always that they were going to slightly sanitize Alien, but they haven't done that. They've kept it very adult, very relevant to the movies. It's pretty much a direct sequel to the first 2 movies, and we've got the first 2 issues in store, so you'll be able to pick that up. And then one last one, I swear this is not just because we interviewed him, but I'm absolutely digging Ram V's running Catwoman as well. Very heisty. It's all about Catwoman Away from Batman. It's in a section of Gotham called Alleytown, which is where she's originally from. And you know, there's no Batman in here. There's Batman villains, which is really interesting. You've got Riddler in here. You've got Penguin in here. And then you've also got a new villain called Father Valley, who's a frightening creation. Really digging that run. It kicked off at 29 after Infinite Frontier, so definitely still time to jump on that. But I'll take you through my pull list for this week anyway, which of course requires its own box because doesn't it always? So what have we got on there? Made up packs needs priced and labelled. Those are all priced and labelled, and those are all on the shelves. But yeah, just to show you my pull list this week, what I'm looking forward to digging into. So first of all, we've got the latest Reckless book. So this is Reckless, Friend of the Devil. So Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, they're releasing 3 hardcover graphic novels a year in this Reckless line. They already did the first Reckless story, which is on the shelves behind me. And then this is the second one out this week. That's very high on my list. I picked up the second book of Die, 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 Robert Kirkman and Chris Burnham's book, which is just really over the top, like an 80s action movie. Got the first trade at home. This completes it. So again, that's just come out 2 volumes deep, just but really irreverent and over the top. Got a couple of crossover variants because I just can't help myself. 1 to 10, 1 to 25. So Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw's run continuing there. I'm going to give this a go this week. This is Miles Morales Spider-Man. So this is from number 25, and it's kicking off a new storyline called Clone Saga. So I'm going to give it a go. I've never really read a lot of Miles Morales, but this seems like a good jumping on point. We've got the second issue since Infinite Frontier of Action Comics. So Philip Kennedy Johnson on this, and Daniel Sampere on art. Beautiful Mikel Janin cover, of course. So this kicked off with 10.29, and then this is the second issue, so 10.30. Of the next issue of Batman Black and White, so number 5 of that. Been a brilliant anthology series so far, looking forward to it. We have Batman Superman number 17, so this kicked off at number 16 with Jean Lun Yang on writing and Ivan Rice on art. Very old school, very golden age Batman and Superman, which is something that can't be a bad thing. We have the latest issue of Detective Comics this week, 10.35. I always go for the variants with Detective Comics. I've got a run of variants for Detective going right back into the 900s, and Lieber Mayo doing great work on that, but we've plenty of the cover A's on the racks as well. We have Harley Quinn number 2. So I really enjoyed the first issue of this more than I thought I would. This is Stephanie Phillips on writing, and then it's Riley Rossmo on art, and it was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to number 2 of that. High on the list this week as well is Robin. So this is Joshua Williamson and Gleb Melnikoff. This is a brand new series kicking off. Lots of first appearances, lots of speculation on this issue, of course. But I just really like the creative team, and I'm a big Damian Wayne fan. So again, look forward to that. Then my last DC this week is Teen Titans Academy. Same again, the first issue of this was superb, and I'm really looking forward to digging into issue 2. It is amazing how close together these Academy books came out. You know, you had Strange Academy through Marvel, and now you've got Teen Titans Academy through DC. 2 companies just love, you know, riffing off each other all the time. But, yeah. So on to the Marvel stuff, we got Better Ray Bill, next issue of that. Again, first issue of that was my pick of the week when it came out. So again, Daniel Warren Johnson doing the Lord's work there. Looking forward to issue 2. We have Black Widow number 6. Again, randomly a bit of a speculation issue with some first appearances in here, I believe. We have a new series called The Marvels, which is written by Kurt Busiek, who wrote the original Marvels, which was illustrated by Alex Ross. Now, Alex Ross isn't doing art on this, it's Yildiray Sinar, but Alex Ross does do this rather beautiful cover, so a new mini-series to kick off there. Star Wars Darth Vader, don't care, it's Vicky's. Sorry, Star Wars fans. X-Men Legends is my next one, so it's part of the connecting covers. So this is issue 3 of X-Men Legends, which is all about reinserting classic stories, or reinserting new stories in the classic storylines. So yeah, look forward to that. We've got my usual 1 to 25 for Robin, because again, I can't help myself with ratio variants. And Riccardo Federici keeps knocking those out of the park. Then in terms of indie stuff, we've got Abbott 1973. This has been a really, really cool little Boom Studios title. It's up to number 4. I think it's just going to be 5 issues in total. It's Saladin Ahmed and Sami Kavala, and that is brilliant. When that hits trade, I'll really be pushing that because it's like a little sleeper hit that not very many people are reading. We've got crossover, so already mentioned. So we're up to issue 6. I believe this is the end of the first arc. Then we have the Source Point Press title, which is called Cult of Dracula. I collect this because, again, I'm a terrible mark for Shannon Meyer variants. and Shannon Meyer's doing a complete run on this with variant covers. So yeah. We've got a new issue of Department of Truth, so continuing on with James Tynion's masterpiece. We have Martin Simmons back this time, so there was a 2-issue interlude there with 2 different artists. I believe it was Tyler Boss and Elsa Chartier, and we're back to Martin Simmons, so we'll be back no doubt to the main storyline there. And of course, again, I can't help myself with variants, so a couple of Department of Truth ones in there as well. Next issue of June, House of Atreides. Again, I collect the variants of this, so we're up to issue 6. AWA title, Erratic. So this is the last issue, I believe, of this, 5 of 5. This is all about what if you could be a superhero, but you could only do it for 10 minutes a day. And it's also in the powers in the hands of a teenager. Been a really good, cool little title, that. You want some really good dark horror about the dangers of social media and how obsessed we are with other people's lives. I Breathe the Body. Brilliant title from Zach Thompson. Andy McDonald on art. That's Aftershock. I believe there's one more issue after that. Any week with new ones in future is always a good week. So continuing on with the Kieran Gillen, Dan Moore, Tamara Bonvillain masterpiece, which of course I need to get a 1-10 variant for as well, because of course I do. Then we have Shadecraft number 2. I was very, very complimentary about Shadecraft number 1. It was a brilliant first issue, easily one of the best of the year so far. It was one of those ones I had a rant on here before about someone buying up all of our stock, one person from the website. You know, you learn from these mistakes. It'll be 1 per person now for titles like that. But we do have the second printings in this week of number 1 as well as number 2 hitting. Can't recommend this enough, guys. Brilliant first issue. We have Shadow Man number 1. I'm not usually a Valiant guy, but I have very fond memories. Going to show my age here again. Very fond memories of the Shadow Man game on the Dreamcast. And there was always a really cool mythology to it. So I'm going to give issue 1 a go. We have Stray Dogs, which is a horror title, all from the point of view of a collection of dogs that have been taken in by this owner who they think is evil. So it's really interesting. It's these are the horror variants for it. So I believe this one is a Conjuring homage, but they do different horror covers each time. They did Silence of the Lambs was one of them as well. Down to the last couple, we have Two Moons. So been digging that. That is your Revolutionary War horror title from John Arcudi. And then we finish off, again, one that I was very complimentary of with number 1 was Witchblood. Really, really cool little title. Looking forward to issue 2 of that. Again, it's one of those small print runs, so sometimes getting the issue 1s of that again could be difficult, but we'll be getting in more and more Vault Comics graphic novels, and you know, supporting those small publishers as well where we can. So that's my pull list for the week. You know, small as always. But as well as showing you that, and that's pretty much a bulk of the main new releases out this week, because you know I read everything. I'm just going to show you some of the graphic novels that are due out this week as well. So I already showed you off there, Friend of the Devil. So I can't say enough good stuff about this though. I mean, I know I'm selling it to you for a second time here, but this model that Brubaker and Phillips are doing is incredible. You know, it's very unique. It's 3 hardcover graphic novels a year for this story rather than 12 issues along with 3 trades. Adult storytelling, noir at its best. These are always 2 guys at the top of their game. Then we've got a bit of a Tom Taylor love in this week, so we do. So I'll just reorganize those just to put it all in a row. So, in fact, I'll leave them to last. Before that, we have Batman Superman. So this is the second hardcover volume of the Joshua Williamson run on Batman Superman, kicked off as a spin-off title from Batman Who Laughs. And then this is the second volume. So Joshua Williamson run, that has been great. And then that finishes up his run. And then it's Gene Newton Lang takes over. We have the final volume of Gideon Falls. So we're up to volume 6. This is the end. Volume 6 is essentially, I should say, it was an 80-page one-shot. But I believe in this they've also included a lot of bonus material. So I think you've got the original script. You've got breakdowns from the art style that Andrea Sorrentino uses. So that'll be a really cool thing, A, to finish off the story, but also B, to get a little bit behind the scenes. Marvel have been releasing these really nice hardcovers recently, and again, we've been getting all of these in while we've been closed to the public, but they're all on the racks over there. You'll be able to see them. So they're doing these hardcover collections where they're collecting anywhere between 10 and 12 to 14 even issues together into one volume. They've done it for Daredevil, Zdarsky's run. They've done it for the Avengers, Jason Aaron's run. They've done it for Dan Slott's Fantastic Four. And another one they've been doing it for is Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk. So we're up now to volume 3 of this, and this is inclusive of issues 21 to 30. So tons of great stuff in there. I mean, Immortal Hulk's easily one of Marvel's best titles. One of the best titles, period. Not just Marvel, but best titles, period, I would say. So yeah, we get into the Tom Taylor Love-In and 3 absolute quality titles that hit trade this week, or hit hardcover, I should say. You've got Hellblazer Rise and Fall. So this was his 3-issue Hellblazer, well, 3-issue oversized issue. More like 6 issues, if you were to break down the page count. But this was the Black Label title, drawn by Derek Robertson, co-creator of The Boys. Really class, self-contained, funny, sardonic, horrifying sort of representation of John Constantine, and just a really good example of Black Label. So I'll be taking a copy of that home myself, actually, because it's I've been collecting all the Black Label graphic novels. Then you also have his Suicide Squad run. So this was phenomenal. I could not have cared less about Suicide Squad going into this. But again, it was Tom Taylor, so again, I was going to go for it. It's along with Bruno Redondo, who of course is now working with him on Nightwing, which is thoroughly excellent already, only 2 issues in. But this was an 11-issue run, and this was genuinely superb. Funny, witty, actual stakes. He creates a load of new characters as well, because the whole point of the Suicide Squad is they're supposed to be expendable characters, but if none of them can die because they're all too big, what's the point? Where's the sense of danger, the sense of jeopardy? Well, there's some big surprises in this book. It is brilliant, Suicide Squad. But his best one for the week for me anyway, because I love the series in general, is Deceased Dead Planet has hit hardcover. So they do these really class hardcovers, really nice spine design. That's actually really uniform, which is very unlike DC, because usually they like to annoy us OCD freaks by having different spines each time. But they've really kept it the same with this. So you've already had Deceased, you had Deceased Unkillables, and now this is the third one, Deceased Dead Planet. Thoroughly brilliant as well. Although it does have the weirdest blurb on a graphic I've ever seen. It's so they'll always put like a review on a graphic novel, by respected critics or whatever. But this one is from The Hollywood Reporter, which is fine. It shows the crossover appeal of comics. So you would expect it to say like a rollicking, think of like the classic Tarantino Kill Bill, a rollicking, rip-roaring rampage of revenge. That tells you what it's about. Or, you talk about how it's funny or it's action-packed or whatever. The end of the world was only the beginning. How is that a review? That's a tagline. That may as well have been written by Tom Taylor. That aside, it's a beautiful book that's put together. Don't let that put you off. And if you've not got into Deceased yet, I can't recommend it enough. If you are more of a single issue, collector, I actually have put packs together of Deceased Dead Planet as well, all 7 issues. We've got a nice range of packs over by the new releases as well now. Again, that's an area we've been really topping up. So whatever your preference for comics is, we've got you covered. We've got the single issues there, we've got the omnibuses there, we've got the graphic novels there, we've got the single issue collections there, we've got the CGC stuff if you prefer, your collectibles. We really have worked our asses off in the last 6 months. So again, I really can't wait for you guys to see the store. We'll finish off as we always do, just a little quick look at some stories that had caught my eye in the last couple of days. I'd mentioned Nightwing by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. The first 2 issues of that completely sold out and are back to second print. So issue 78, second print, which is your starting point, that actually arrived in this week. So if you're a little late to the party and want to get into Nightwing, we do have that on the racks. But 79 has also got a second printing as well, and this cover is amazing. So imaginative. I almost think it's slightly wasted on a second print. I'll superimpose it over the top, of course. But it evokes memories of Batman 66. It evokes memories of, Nightwing's previous identities, previous costumes. It's just a really beautiful cover. So again, if you're late to the party with Nightwing and want to get into it, we've got 78 on the racks there, the start of Tom Taylor's run, and then 79 second prints will be coming soon, because again, it's the whole speculation side of the market. It has jumped up again really stupidly. So you might want to get in at the second printing if you want to pay just a decent price for it, a cover price, rather than, the secondary market price. I mean, I suppose I should jump on quickly with a quick rant about the secondary market and the Batman Fortnite comic that came out and how comic stores are pricing people out of that, which I think is absolutely disgraceful. And we were able to sort out all of our regulars at cover price, a few people late to the party at cover price, and that's what we'll always do. We will always guarantee cover price on release day for any standard cover A, no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's the hot issue of the week. Nightwing 79 jumped to, I think it was £15 in 2 days because it's the first appearance of a new villain. Don't care. You have a pull list with us, or you pick it up off the rack, it's cover price. So again, that's the other benefit of pull list, guys. If you're interested in setting up a pull list, get in touch, and you're always guaranteed at first print, bagged and boarded, and cover A. And a free issue for every 10, so can't say further than that. But yeah, aside from that, what else did we have? So DC Comics launched a new imprint called DC Horror. And what they're doing for this is they're going to be, their first title released through it is a tie-in to the Conjuring movies. And it's The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, it's called. It's going to be 5 issues in total. There's going to be a backup story in this by Scott Snyder as well. And it seems like DC are setting up this brand new horror line, which I think is a great idea. Black Label takes care of your adult storytelling, but it doesn't necessarily have to be confined to horror. The one thing I would say, and again, we've got the books behind us there, like they did launch that Hill House brand, which was our imprint by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, as you're contractually obliged to introduce him as. Creator of Lock and Key, Joe Hill. And the books were great. They were all 6-7 issue miniseries, all, different degrees of horror. So whether this is related to that or a rebranding of that, I'm not sure. But I think it's a really interesting idea. And again, it means that it will appeal to a different demographic, because people who just think comic books are superheroes punching each other in the face, they'll actually have the choice now of a bit of horror. So it can't be a bad thing. So it's kicking off in June. I should say the previews books arrived this week as well. And we will be doing a previews podcast. We'll have an article up on the website, certainly with all our favourite picks from the May books that are going to be out in July. But we'll also, now that we're going to have the store open again, we'll have the board written up as we used to have before. So if you're ever in the store, have a look at the previews board. That's our recommendations for what's coming up. But the previews books will also be in the corner as well. So if you are sitting in and we have that facility, you can have a wee flick through the previews books. Anything appeals to you, just get in touch with us. But yeah, we'll be going through more detail in the DC horror line, for example, and everything else through the previews books sometime this week. We also saw Marvel release some details for the Free Comic Book Day event for 2021. Usually Free Comic Book Day used to be the first Saturday in May. Obviously it's been moved this year. But it's actually going to be further along this year. I believe it is going to be, let me just get the exact date here. It's going to be August 14th. And Marvel have announced 2 titles for it so far. They've got a Free Comic Book Day Avengers, which has a very angry looking Hulk on the cover with Iron Man, Thor and Cap in the background. That's drawn by Ryan Otley. And then there's an Amazing Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day tie-in as well, which is going to be, it's a really nice sort of Venom Spider-Man cover by Patrick Gleason as well. So keep an eye out for more details on that. We've already signed up for all the Free Comic Book Day titles. Again, we'll have the store set up with loads of free issues with every purchase. Exclusive titles you can only get in Free Comic Book Day. And again, I've always said it, when it comes to Free Comic Book Day, don't just come to us. Go to Comic Book Guys, go to Forbidden Planet, go to all the other stores and fully take advantage of it. Free Comic Book Day is a day that rewards the readers all year round, and make sure you get a little bit of something from everybody, because it's definitely worth it. A couple of bits and pieces I saw, sort of TV and movie news just to finish off with. Obviously, Falcon Winter Soldier finished this week. Brilliant finale, I thought. I was really happy with how it ended. I thought there were some really moving moments in it. There was some good action in it. Series was too short. It's I suppose it's always the number one rule of showbiz, leave them wanting more. But I loved it, and I would have happily taken 12 episodes as opposed to just 6. But brilliant series, brilliantly cast, setting up some really interesting stuff for moving forward as well. So yeah, loved Falcon Winter Soldier. They've just released a new poster now as well of Sam in full Captain America get up. Though there is a really funny one floating around Twitter where someone has basically filled it so that, he's massive, huge, big, hulking, muscles and totally out of proportion characteristics. Search that out as well. And it's interesting as well that the guys who did Falcon Winter Soldier, who ran it, the showrunners, the writers, they've actually been brought on board now to do Captain America 4. So it's Malcolm Spellman, the head writer and show creator behind Falcon Winter Soldier, will team with Dallin Musan, a staff writer from the show, on a 4th installment in the Captain America film franchise. So this will obviously be a Captain America moving forward where Sam is Cap. I'm sure Bucky will be in this. I'm sure you'll see more of the Power Broker. I'm sure you'll see more of, Sharon Carter. Hopefully we'll see more Baron Zemo. You might have more stuff with Wakanda. There's loads of directions this could go in, and I'm just really happy we're getting another Captain America movie, because that's my favorite of the Marvel movies, is the Cap stuff. And then just 2 things to finish off with. Saw Mortal Kombat launch last week. Well, it launched in the US, so it launched for many illegal methods of watching it, shall we say. I haven't watched it personally, but I'll hold off, and once it gets released, I'll give it a watch. But it came out in movie theaters as well in the States, and it scored an impressive debut. It made $22.5 million in the weekend in the States, but over 50 million worldwide. It's nice to see cinemas are starting to recover a bit. We're probably not going to go back to pre-pandemic numbers for quite a while, where movies are routinely breaking $1 billion and $2 billion and new box office crowns, being taken and stuff like that. But it is good to see that there's some good stuff coming up. And then just one last thing to finish off with, which is to do with the John Wick TV show. But there's a new TV show coming out called The Continental, and there was all these rumors, is it going to have Kenny Reeves in it every so often? Is it going to be set in the modern world? Is it going to be set in the modern continuity? That kind of thing. But no, they've confirmed that it's actually going to be a prequel, and when we talk prequel, we're talking 40 years before the original John Wick movie. So it's actually going to focus on Ian McShane's character, Winston, who was, the owner of the hotel and, the ultimate respected character in that universe. So it's going to focus on a young version of him, but it's also going to adopt a format that's quite unusual outside of the UK. Now, Sherlock does this, but not many US shows do this, and it's basically going to be 3 episodes long, but each episode's going to be 90 minutes. So instead of making it 6 episodes and, 45-minute episodes, that kind of thing, they're doing it with almost like 3 feature-length movies, I suppose. So yeah, I'll look forward to that. Again, I love the John Wick franchise in general. We just got a new figure in as well, just there, which comes with about 9 million guns. It's a really nice deluxe figure. So yeah, plenty to look forward to as always. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there for this week. It's getting darker, as you can see, for whatever reason. And I have a wee bit more just to do to finish off the pricing up for New Comic Book Day tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it's proven useful, and I really look forward to seeing you guys back in store. I'm so happy to be getting going again. It's been a tough year for everyone all around. It's been a tough year for businesses, big and small. And, thanks to your guys' support, we've been able to keep the place going and, keep the community going. And we've actually been able to grow, which has been fantastic. So a massive thank you to all you guys, and we look forward to seeing you back in store from this weekend, finally. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe out there and take it easy.